Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's just finished. Watford 1, West Ham United 3, with two players that we probably would have wanted to see score get on this score sheet. We're here to talk you through the highlights, give you our opinions on the game and the outcome. And let's start with the first highlight. Gonzo, we only had to wait a minute for it. Lanzini went into the box, got brought down by Decore. Mark Noble, 15 years today, he made his debut for West Ham. I think it's his 250th Premier League appearance today as well. Quite fitting, but he stepped up and as always made no mistake.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know all that other stuff. Yeah, fantastic. Actually, to be fair, I missed the first 4 minutes. So I walked in at the point when they were running through the replays or whatever it was. But he dispatched it. Dispatched it low and to the keeper's right. He's just very, very reliable from penalties. I think Haller's a penalty taker as well. So any thoughts he might have of getting the penalty duties from Mark Noble probably been dashed today, although he didn't have a bad day himself, did he? Lanzini, who was to go on and play well throughout the whole game, was involved. And obviously Haller himself held the ball up well in the build-up as well. So I thought it was a good goal, and it seemed that at that point a feast was about to come during the whole game.
Charlie, Watford fans didn't have to wait long though for their equaliser, 16 minutes. Andre Gray getting the goal. Decent build-up play by Watford and a neat little goal.
Yeah, really nice little reverse pass. Gray knows exactly where the weakness is, aka between Ogbonna and Masuaku with a high line. Ran the line perfectly, curved his run round, and a really good finish at the end of it, actually, to be fair to him. Fabianski looked completely lost. Not really much he could have done in that one. I think it was just really nice build-up play, and Watford have that in them, and Hughes is a very smart player, and so when that ball came through, it was no surprise, to be honest.
There's plenty of chances though in the rest of the half. Cleverly, Delafeo and Felipe Anderson all going close with both sides hitting the woodwork. Gonzo, we did a halftime live show, but just for the people that haven't seen it, can you just give what you were thinking at halftime, please?
Yeah, at halftime I was quite pleased with how we were looking down the left-hand side. I was pleased with Lanzini, Anderson and Haller in particular. I thought Declan Rice was playing well, but I was just a little bit concerned on the right hand side that things weren't particularly working. I thought Yarmolenko, I said at half time I wanted Yarmolenko to come off and Anderson and Antonio to come on, and having said that, he didn't change it at half time, and Yarmolenko did actually start the half by having a shot, but we certainly, when we discussed it, we thought that substitutions would play their part. That being said, it was really the guys that had spent all the game on the pitch that were to go on and make the difference.
Charlie, what were you thinking at the break? 1-1, what was your thoughts?
It was very much the West Ham I was expecting this year, in that when we actually got forward in numbers, we looked really good and really exciting and really smart and attacking and everything we wanted. And then defensively an absolute shambles, and that's sort of what I was expecting this year. That's the sort of West Ham I was expecting. I was concerned, and have been concerned the last couple of games, at how we seem to start almost relatively energetically, let's say, and lose all sort of steam towards the end of the half. And it happened today as well. I felt like towards the end of the half, if one team was going to score, it would have been Watford. But I felt like it was probably the right decision at the time to leave Yarmolenko on, just because I feel like he's clearly lacking confidence. He's probably lacking fitness. But the problem is he's not going to get either of those things if he doesn't get the minutes and he doesn't get the time to try and get them. And if Pellegrini does have faith in him, which he seems to, he spent a lot of money on him last summer and he started him today, then we just have to sort of give him those minutes. But yeah, I wasn't surprised there were no subs, but I did think they were at least coming very soon after.
I was okay at half time. I was sort of some positives and some negatives. I thought Watford were the better team in the first half. I thought they probably deserved to be ahead at half time, but there was glimpses there from us. We could have scored 2 or 3 ourselves, and that was sort of without dominating the first half. And that I thought we were getting down the sides well, but not really taking advantage of it. The substitution we were wanting to see at half time, Gonzo, did happen, but literally 30 seconds before that, Charlie, Will Hughes, Andre Gray does all the hard work. He does it right. He goes round Fabianski, he rolls it across the face of the goal. Will Hughes is 2 yards out. Now, it's his weak foot, 2 yards out, but this has got to be the miss of the season, surely.
Yeah, a little bit. He's gonna. You could see it in his face as well when it cuts. You know, when a player makes a miss like that, they're gonna hate themselves for it, and it cuts to him, and you just see him looking at the floor. I think he probably swears a little bit, and you've got to feel sorry for him because Jesus Christ, I'm like Gio will admit. Gio has seen me play football. I'm not the greatest footballer, but Jesus, even I would have put that one in. Like it was bad. It was really, really bad, and that's the. I think ultimately we'll talk about this more, but I think that was kind of the difference is we took our chances and they just didn't.
I think he almost tries too hard. I think he goes for the blast it into the back of the net finish when actually he'd be better off just sticking his leg there and letting it bounce off him and go in. You know, Firmino would have done his no-look thing and scored from there. I think he's almost gone for the grandstand. You know, I'll just belt it, and unfortunately for him, he belted it over. Antonio come on for Yarmolenko. Gonzo, I mean, this substitution was massive for West Ham. It really swung the game in our favour. Gave us an outlet going forward, made us look dangerous every time we went forward from then on. And he had his chance quite early. 1-on-1, lovely through ball. You know, he's clear from almost the halfway line. A heavy touch, but superb goalkeeper from Ben Foster. Brave at the feet of Antonio, stops it, gets up, goes for it again. And it's a 50-50. It is a 50-50 between Foster and Anderson. One of them goes for it and the other one bottles it, really.
Well, I thought what Anderson tried to do was put his back between it. What he should have done straight away when he was running onto it, Anderson, was try and chip the keeper or curl it round him. We know he can shape the ball beautifully with his right foot. What he tried to do is position his body and almost try and play as a number 9, a target man, and stop the keeper from coming through him. And he actually ended up doing nothing, and the keeper just won the ball. So I thought decision making was poor rather than necessarily bottling it on that. But you're right. The tactical substitution allowed him to get through, and this is the team. That's the team with Anderson and Antonio for the reasons. That's the pace you get. The counter-attacking, and it may not be what Pellegrini particularly wanted to do, as we saw in pre-season. It was looking like he wanted a Wilshere and a Lanzini and a Fornals in there, but you don't always get what you want, and sometimes there's an evolution of a team, and hopefully in Pellegrini's mind that's now cemented now, because it's quite clear we need Anderson on the left, Antonio on the right, and Lanzini in the middle, and he's unplayable sometimes. And of course he was going to go on to feature later on in the third goal as well, but he's a real threat, and he's just a real handful for defenders. Defenders would not like playing against Antonio.
Charlie, just after the hour mark, it was 2-1 West Ham, and we saw West Ham fans knew we didn't have to wait long for this guy to get off the mark. We knew he was going to score goals. This is why he spent £45 million on him, and he got off the mark today. He made it 2-1. Sebastian Haller.
We spent £45 million for a tap in, and we bloody love it. No, I think you mentioned it. It was one of you two anyway mentioned it and showed us before about he just needed the goal sooner rather than later. The longer it went on, the more pressure it would have been on him, and so he was really instrumental in the build-up as well, which is the thing that I liked most about it. When the ball came into a decent position, he was trying to get involved. He was linking up well with Anderson down the side, Masuak as well, I think it was. And then he got into the good position. Anderson knew that he was going to follow it up, was going to follow and move into the right position to tap it in. And so he just waited until he was there, put it perfectly in, and it was so simple. It's the sort of goal we concede all of the time, and it was awesome to see. And it's great to see him actually get a goal, because like you've both said, he needs that, and now hopefully he will go on to do bigger and better things.
Right, Gonzo, leave your purring of Haller for 2 minutes, okay? Because there's a second goal for Haller. You can purr about him then. What about the build-up from West Ham? Because that is impressive. I mean, Haller's goal was just a tap-in. He did what Hughes should have done. He just tapped it in. It's all about the build-up for me, this goal. Haller gets the goal credited to him, but the people that don't get credited, well, Anderson will get the assist, but Masuaku as well. I thought this was lovely football from West Ham.
Is my camera working, by the way?
Yeah, we can see you. We've seen your cup of tea arriving, yep.
Okay. Well, I won't pick my nose then, but I thought the build-up was sensational, and I sort of thought that left-hand side was really working. If we take the defensive part out of it, which obviously we are going to be weak, I found Lanzini was pulling quite a lot to that left-hand side and joining in, and they were playing 1-2s, and obviously Anderson was to go on and feature heavily. And what I really loved was, obviously, it was a tap-in for he who shall be mentioned shortly, but I loved the way Anderson slowed the play up. He knew what he wanted to do. He invited the defenders to go at a walking pace because he knew he was going to tap it forward and then go into a sprint. He slowed him down, bang, and then obviously picked him out. And what it looked like a simple ball from Anderson because it was a simple ball. But if you look through that game, you'll see plenty of other examples where simple balls that were over 4 metres were missed. And I was really, really pleased with that goal and the sort of goal that I've been looking forward to seeing, as Charlie alluded to earlier.
Then it was 3-1 just 10 minutes later. First of all, it come from a cross. Antonio, really good header, but a really good save by Ben Foster. Then the corner, it comes into the box. A little bit of this and a little bit of that going. So then all of a sudden, Aller's pulling out an overhead kick. 3-1.
Yeah, fantastic. And I was 3 generations of Gonzo sat in the lounge watching that. And we were all delighted. Big cheer went up. Antonio played his part as well. Just a real handful. He's a guy with that sort of athleticism and brute strength. Is going to attract defenders to him. We saw Haller try and contort himself and do the Bruce Lee roundhouse kick into the goal in the first half. He went with a more conventional overhead bicycle one in this one, which was a lovely goal to see. I don't think it's the last time we're going to see it, because already I've seen him attempt 3 this season. So I'm just absolutely delighted. I really am. We have needed a striker for so long. I was actually buzzing to see his score. And yes, the first one was a tap-in, but it was almost like that second one, being the overhead kick, was almost a rubber stamp, the validation that, yes, we've got a player here. And he featured in all 3 goals. Let's not forget that. We need to keep him fit because obviously he was missing for the last one. But he's a proper number 9, Gio, a real proper number 9. He's going to get your tap-ins. But what I love about him as well as all that, his passing is good. He doesn't leave. His passes rarely come short. He puts power in his passes, curl in his pass. He brings others into the game. And he's still going to get better because he's going to adjust to the physicality. I thought they were quite a physical team today, Watford. There's a lot of physicality about a lot of their players, Decore and in particular. I think once he gets used to the real physicality of the Premier League, he's going to start putting his huge strength and heading ability to cause opposition players a lot of bother. He's only going to get better. I'm delighted to have him off the mark now.
He tried an overhead kick against Man City as well, so it's not the first game. He's only played 2 games for us. He's been pulling. I think he's had more overhead kick shots and normal shots actually. Don't know what to do against Norwich. Just get the ball in the air, slightly behind Aller, and just let him do the rest. For the next 20 minutes, to be honest with you, there's not much highlights. Both teams tried to go at each other, but there wasn't any glaringly obvious chances. And to be fair, West Ham just seen the game out really well. Pellegrini did a substitution by bringing on Fornals and Carlos Sanchez just to see the game out. And it finished 3-1. But Charlie, what was your thoughts on the overall game?
Relatively happy, yeah.
Relatively?
Going forward, because I'm so worried about us defensively. Watford wasted so many chances. All right, let's get the negative out of the way. Watford wasted so many chances. Oh my God. It was like they had a team of Antonios up front at times. They were just blasting balls all over the shop, and I don't understand why, because they were relatively good at the build-up in the first half, but in the second half, they just couldn't hit the target to save their own lives, even when they were 1 foot away from the goal. It was just... It's a concern, and it is a concern because I think we're going to concede a lot of goals. But when we go forward, we're just so much better. And this is the thing, we're not even at full strength right now. You know, Yarmolenko, as I said, isn't really match fit. Fornals hasn't quite got up to pace yet. We've still got these things to come in. Yet when we go forward, we look really, really good. And the fact that, like I said, for the second goal, we scored the type of thing we concede all the time. Nice, slick passing in round the back. Smart, simple, it works, and it's the sort of thing that I've been desperate for me to see us do for so long. And so it's so exciting to actually see that. And like I say, we're not even at full strength yet. So once that starts getting more and more in play, I'm mega excited. Like I say, the defense is just a massive concern, but it's just going to be a massive concern until the rest of the time, probably at this point.
Gonzo, your thoughts on the 90 minutes of football you just seen?
I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I could just repeat what Charlie just said about the defence. There's no point. It is going to be a worry. That aside, I was thrilled to see Anderson today. I love the way he plays. not everything comes off. That's why he was 40 million and not 200 million that Kylian Mbappe is. That's what you get. You pay a quarter of that sort of money, you're going to get a quarter of the player. He makes some odd decisions, but sometimes he just carries the ball at pace. I love the way he nutmegs players. I love the way he just skips past players, and I just think he's a joy to watch. I can't get enough of watching him play football, quite frankly. And to see him linking up with Lanzini, I thought was also just majestic. The boss today, the governor in many respects, Lanzini, a real joy to play football. I mean, he was so good, I thought, today at Lanzini. I was enjoying him play so much. I was thinking, well, can we just sign this contract now? I almost don't want him to have any more good games before he signed the contract, because he's so vitally, crucially important to us. I enjoyed particularly in the second half, Gio, I really enjoyed the balance of that attacking quartet, or whatever you want to call it. I did think, just to go back to it for those that didn't see the half-time show, I did think that Yarmolenko did produce some good moments as well in the first half. I wouldn't like to exclude him, because there was times when he was involved in that attacking momentum. But Charlie alluded to the fact that he might not be fully fit. I think so. I almost like he was running with a limp. It's almost as if when we were at full flow, and there were times today when we were at full flow, and everybody will know the moves that I'm talking about, you almost feel Yarmolenko can't join in with that, because he's just not quite up to the pace. And we are quite swashbuckling when Masuaku and Anderson and what's his name, Lanzini and Haller, and then in the second half, Antonio are coming forward. It's a real joy to watch, a real pleasure, and I really enjoyed seeing it. And I thought, obviously we'll talk about other individuals later, but they weren't the only good performers in the team.
I think Pellegrini did fantastically well, actually. He waited long enough. He gave Yarmolenko long enough in the second half to go out there and do enough to stay on. I think Yarmolenko did okay, actually. I think it was sort of like Yarmolenko was just tired by the time to come on, but he got his sub at the right time, because it's just a happy coincidence, but Antonio was ready to come on in 30 seconds before that sub's made. Will Hughes misses that chance, and it just knocks the stuffing out of Watford a little bit. And just as that happens, bam, we bring on Antonio. Holloway gets booked pretty quick as well, and the substitution is done at the exact right time. I thought our defence did okay today. We did concede a lot of chances, but I put that down to a lack of protection, as well as sort of questions over the back four. I think the centre backs did well. They did some really good blocks. Ogbonna did an absolute fantastic foul. It was 3-1, and there was plenty of time to go on the clock. He was through. If he was past Ogbonna, they were in. Ogbonna just hauls him down, takes the yellow card. This is what we want to see. We want to see. People call it game management, call whatever you want, but it's just common sense in terms of football. You either take a booking or you let the guy run in at your goal. Just take the yellow card. You know that you've got Diop there who's not on a booking. You know, if worst case scenario, Balbuena's on the bench if it has to. It's a team game, and Ogbonna took one for the team there. Fantastic yellow card to take. I thought Alar was brilliant as well. He was making Dawson commit fouls in order to get the ball off him. I thought Lanzini and Anderson did really well. You know, the first half we kept going down the right, and it was almost like we thought, well, it's not working. We're getting plenty of room for Fredericks, but nothing's happening. Let's go over to the other side of the pitch and start focusing on there. Then it started to come off a little bit. Really happy with what we've seen in the second half. I thought we kept Watford at arm's length in the second half, bar Hughes' chance. I thought we did all right. You know, it's positivity. We gave up a lot of chances, but I also think we missed 2 or 3 good chances of our own at the other end. And Ben Foster is a really, really good goalkeeper. You can't take anything away from him. His experience comes out, and he's brave to go to the feet of Antonio. On another day, he either doesn't get there, it's a penalty, booking for the goalkeeper, whatever. I thought we did well. You know, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 amazing performance, but I thought we deserved the win at the end of it. We were really good in the second half. And plenty of players are going to come out with lots of credit, which we're going to go on to right now. Gonzo, would you like to take your pick? Individual players praise or criticise? There's one player that I was a bit iffy with. One player that started today, I think, not sure about him, but lead the way.
Okay, I don't want to overly criticise, because there's one player in particular I would, and I just feel I've been doing a lot of moaning in the first 2 games. So I've got to say, Declan Rice just keeps getting better. I thought he was brilliant today. He's added a cultured long left foot curling ball to his repertoire. There was one point where I don't know what for player, but he was sort of sliding in to try and get the ball, and then Rice just flicked it over him and jumps over him. It was a skillful move. It was a dexterous move that you might expect from a number 10. Great tackles, looking for the 1-2. He gave the ball away a couple of times, but there was one time near the second half where the ball was coming into him, but he saw him really just look straight back over his shoulder. He mucked the pass up actually, but the fact that he had his head up and he was looking for options, I'd love to see. I was really pleased to see him. I thought Noble it's just comes back into the team and brings a calmness and a leadership to him. I totally agree with what you said about Ogbonna and that tactical foul. I was pleased to see it, but I thought that was prevalent throughout the whole team, Gio. The taking time to walk off on the wrong side and stuff like that. I did think there was a little bit more to our gamesmanship today. I thought Haller did a naughty but nice tactical foul as well. Diop also did one, and so yeah, I think from that point of view, it was really, really good. The star of the show will obviously go down as Haller, but all the players that I mentioned earlier, Lanzini it's just the governor. I could have watched another 90 minutes. If I thought Lanzini, Haller, Anderson, those type of people, honestly, Joe, I could have watched another 90 minutes. That was a joy to behold, and that's the football I want to watch. That's why I think Pellegrini was brought in. That's why I was so critical after Brighton, because well, hold on a second, we should be attacking. I'll take the leaky defence, the colander of a back four. I'll take that if we can have some swashbuckling attacking play that gets you off your seat. I always felt, particularly, I think it's because we scored early, but I always felt when we attacked, we would score. And that's what I want to feel, and that's what I want to see. And I'm absolutely chuffed. And quite frankly, it makes the rest of the weekends. It's good.
Who was the one player, Gonzo, that you were a bit iffy about? Don't elaborate on it, just give us a name.
Fredericks, and the reason I don't want to go on, I don't want him to become my Kiate, if you know what I mean, in that sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I got bored of slacking off Kiate and stuff. But to be fair, I've seen he apparently he's had a bit of a blinder for Palace today at the win at Old Trafford. So
well, he speaks very highly of you, though, Gio Kiate does.
He should, to be fair. Charlie, can I get your individual critics and reviews, please?
Yeah, the thing about Declan Rice is I spend a lot of my time obviously talking to non-West Ham fans, just by the nature of the beast. Lots of Arsenal, Tottenham, Man United, everyone else. And I keep getting asked this question about him. They keep going, why are West Ham fans overhyping him? And you watch him play, you go, we're not, though. He's just that good. He just is. And at some point, at the end of this year, I can't wait for everyone to realise that. Because at the moment, they still don't. And it's really exciting to watch a young player come through like that, as every West Ham fan knows. Lanzini continues to be brilliant. I hope it's not because this contract thing is coming up now, but he does just continue to be brilliant. Anderson, again, the thing is with Anderson is I don't even think this was a particularly great game for him. I think he played well, but there were times where an Anderson of last year would have just absolutely belted it in or done something brilliantly. He just didn't do it, and yet still there are times where it's that Payet thing where he could do nothing for 90 minutes, but then something happens and it's just that little bit of class that kicks in, like for the second goal where he just finds the perfect pass, does the perfect run, involves in the play, and it's just absolutely brilliant to watch as well. Criticism, again, there was one time where the ball came down the left, and the commentator said, I can't remember who it was, I think it was Andre Gray running on or something like that, and the commentator said, oh, he's putting pressure on Masuaku here. And he wasn't. He was putting pressure on Ogbonna, but the commentator just assumed Masuaku would be there being the left back, and he just wasn't. Defensively, our fullbacks just need work. Like you say, I don't think they were... Fredericks had some poor things as well, but I don't think they were outstandingly bad by any stretch of the imagination. They just weren't great, but I think our centre-backs did play well. I think Diop made some incredible challenges. I think Ogbonna did some decent things as well. Probably making an argument to say, yeah, actually do start me ahead of Balbuena right now. I don't think he did anything to say, actually, don't start me. I think he had a very decent game. And Fabianski played well as well, and he released the ball quickly. That's something I like. Sometimes we take so long to release the ball from defence or from throw-ins. Throw-ins we're still horrendous at. But we released the ball quickly, and that's exciting, especially once Antonio came on. I remember he collected the ball, lobbed it straight at him, just like, let's go, come on, let's get a goal. And that's exciting to watch.
I think I'll get the critic over and done with. I know someone will say, "Oh, hang on, with one, why be negative?" Because it's harder to criticise someone when you win a game. I think it's fairer as well, almost, because it's easy to sit there after you've been beaten, go, actually, he's rubbish. But, well, of course you're going to say that, we've just been beat. But when you win, you pull someone out, I think it's harder. And it's Fredericks, for me, he just... If it wasn't for his pace, he'd be really bad. But his pace makes him okay because he can run past players by just running. There's no skill involved. His runs are quite good, actually. I will say that he knows when to run and he knows where to run and stuff. His runs are actually okay. I actually think when he gets the ball to cross it, he just needs to take a touch. He's always in a rush. I think it's because he's running at it so fast. He has to kick it, because if he takes a touch, it's going to go pinging in front of him. Maybe he just needs to slow down, because it's quite often he gets the ball, he's actually in quite a lot of room, and he's got enough time for a touch and a calm, composed cross, but he doesn't do it. He hits it first time, and usually it's hard and low. You know, Felipe Anderson is the complete opposite. When he got that opportunity, he was calm, composed, got his head up, and just played it where he needs to play it, right, power behind it and stuff. But Fredericks is defensively worrying as well. There was that pass back he did that flew out for a corner. You just think, it's a little bit like that. But apart from that, I thought everybody else played well. Noble and Rice were just fantastic in that midfield. Jack Wilshere's got a problem now because he had 2 games. I thought he did okay against City, but I thought he was awful against Brighton. Mark Noble's come in and put in the best centre midfield performance of the season so far in a West Ham United shirt. Jack's got a problem here. Antonio's actually got a problem as well, because he's now come off the bench twice to really swing the game in West Ham's favour. Now Pellegrini's going to be thinking, if I start him, who have I got on the bench to bring on to swing in my favour? I've taken Yarmolenko off the bench, I've taken Fornals off the bench. Neither of them's really impacted the game like that. Antonio's done it. And it's a bit like... It's just harsh on Antonio, but Pellegrini's going to be looking at that thinking he's the right guy to bring on against a tired back line, and he's right. But Antonio deserves to start against Norwich. Remember our Norwich preview, I'm pretty sure we're all going to be saying Antonio must start in this game, because he changed the game completely. He really, really did. He's unfortunate to score, and Aller just shows what difference having a top striker in your team does, because we as West Ham fans now know that if there's 10 minutes to go in the game, 20 minutes to go in the game, we're losing, we're drawing, doesn't matter if Aller's in the pitch and on the box, because all he needs is one chance and he could take it. And he was always in the right place. The biggest criticism Arnautovic had was, you're not where you're supposed to be as a striker. He was sometimes too deep or too wide. Aller was none of those things today. He still comes deep to get involved, but he then gets his arse back up to where it's supposed to be. Also, when he comes deep, I noticed today Craig Dawson would not leave him alone. Dawson would come deep as well, and he's just pulling defenders away. And if we can get used to that and know when to go in there and work off him, you know, I watched Villa against Everton. Wesley was doing the same. Wesley was pulling defenders everywhere, but Trezeguet knew when and where to run. Trezeguet was getting in that space straight away. As soon as Wesley went, Trezeguet went, and we can get that worked out. And I think Antonio does it. I think Antonio uses the space really well. That Aller frees up, but we can get our attacking midfielders working off that as well. It's going to work. And the big thing today is we started leading. Watford had to come at us, and when they came at us, every time we got the ball in defence, we looked like we were going to go on and get a shot off at the end of it. It's when we're drawing or losing, can we then start scoring goals? That's the question mark. We've not done it yet this season, but certainly when we're winning and teams come at us, we are going to turn 1 goal into 2 into 3 very, very quickly with the options that we've got. Charlie, can I get your hang on, before final thoughts on man of match, which is the next question, the last question. We do a charity bet with Betway every week, and today we won it, boys. 9-2, so £225. It'll be coming out of the Betway account and going into a charity. So happy days. We did Haller to score, both teams to score, Watford to have over 4 or more corners, and both teams get at least 1 card. Both teams got exactly 1 card, so call that right. £225 for charity. Thank you, Betway. Charlie, final thoughts and your hammer of the match, please.
Yes, is the
positivity. Positivity. Come on, Charlie. Positivity.
I'm really happy. I know I don't look it. It's probably because I'm tired and not very well, but I am very happy about it. I think the thing is with Haller, who is my man of the match, obviously, is he's so good at everything. He just is. Like, I can't remember who the co-commentator was, but kept going, oh, he's a big man, so he might prefer it into his head and all this stuff. It doesn't matter where you put the ball to him, because you know he's got the touch to control it. You know he's got the pass to find someone else, and then he'll move into the right position to get the goal at the other end of it. He was doing Ronaldo top touches around defenders. He's just ridiculous. He is just so good as a striker. And I always go on about the fact that we need to get the ball to the striker more, but we know that while we get the ball to him, as long as someone's bloody near him, we're going to do something with it. When we counter-attack, like you say, I don't think we're particularly like lightning at it, but we're just smart at it. Like, we have the players to pick teams apart. That second goal was so good because we picked them apart. Nice, smooth passing, and it's the thing where Masuaku got forward and he got involved. He was taking it past people. He was doing nice touches. We just look really good going forward. And the thing is I think the best season I've ever seen as a West Ham fan in my lifetime was obviously the last season at Upton Park. We were not good defensively that year either, but the joy of that season was how good we were going forward, and we could just outscore teams. It's such a stupid Michael Owen-esque thing to say, but we outscored teams, therefore we won. And it's a joy to see us back to that stage. Despite any of our problems, it's just a joy to watch. And like I say, this isn't even us at full swing yet. Once all of the players are fit, like you say, Wilshere has a job to get back into this team. Jack Wilshere, who played a blinder against City, was great in pre-season, and he arguably doesn't get back into this team right now. That's just how exciting we are. And it's a really good time to be a West Ham fan. But yeah, Haller, man of the match. It's as simple as that, really.
Gonzo, your final thoughts on your hammer of the match, please.
Yeah, well, I mean, I loved what Charlie was saying about Haller there, and it was exciting to listen to someone talk like that, and because he's so right, and it's wonderful. It just makes you realise how we've lacked this for so long, how we've gone through the fallow years and watching Andy Carroll and hoping he will come good, and then he disappears, and to actually have somebody who is more than one-dimensional in there is fantastic. And to be fair, Charlie spoke well for a man that's been up until 6 a.m. watching the Summer Rumble and Smackdowns and back-to-back wrestling until 6 a.m. He spoke very, very well. But I totally agree. You have to give it to Haller because, actually, it sounds like faint praise. I don't want to damn with faint praise. I say you have to because there were other contenders today. And if you've watched the video in the last 15 minutes, you'll know the other players that I think played really well. Enjoyable. I've got to say it was a tough. More questions than answers against Brighton, and today has left us. And I thought, my other final thought was, I've got to say it now because otherwise I'm going to moan about it, and people say you're just moaning now. I hate VAR. I hate it. My first taste of it was at Brighton. I was in the game, and it was horrible. I was delighted that there was no real VAR incidents today. I thought that really contributed to a really, really good game of football, and we'll maybe not last on match of the day today.
This is going to sound strange. I'm not giving Haller the man of the match, and I think there's probably 3 or 4 players that were actually more deserving of it than him. While he did his job, which was score 2, I think the first one was made by Anderson and Masuaku mainly, and the second one fell kindly for him, if you like. He's got a lot to do. Listen, I'm not trying to take anything away from Haller. I just felt that there was better players out there today. I thought Rice was better than him. I thought Lanzini was better than him. But the player I'm going to give it to is our captain. We against Brighton, we got bullied. They pulled their pants down, especially in the middle of the pitch. They bullied us. They showed a bit of metal about them, and we said, oh yeah, no problem, you have the ball then. Today we didn't have that. Watford are a physical team, as Gonzo alluded to. Big players in there like Dawson, Decore, Capu. They don't mind a physical battle. They want a physical battle. Actually, they turned up for one, and we said, well, come on then, let's have it. And they scored their first one. You could see Noble just screaming at Anderson, Lanzini, Yarmolenko, saying, where are you guys? You guys need to get your arse back here now. And against City, that leadership wasn't there because those attacking players still did not get back to defend. Against Brighton, it wasn't there. Today, the leadership was there. We were a lot more organised, we were a lot more disciplined, and that comes from having Mark Noble in the pitch. And not only his leadership, I thought his passing was fantastic. It was the pass to Antonio which put him through on goal. I think it was Noble, I hope it was, because I'm largely basing his match on that as well. But that pass, that creativity is what we need. We can't always rely on Lanzini, Anderson, Fornals, Yarmolenko. It needs to come from deeper as well. Mark Noble's got that creativity in him. So yeah, captain for me. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this review, drop a like on it. It helps the channel out. Subscribe if you're new around here. We'll be back tomorrow night. Sunday night we'll be back because we've got the Newport preview to do. Also check out our forum channel, link is in the description, because there's a video for Monkey Hustle who was complaining about Pellegrini's lack of defensive organisation and saying we lack no cutting edge in attack. He sent over your shout, that'll be up tonight, so hopefully he's a bit more positive. He's a bit like Charlie, really. He's not.
But he does print lovely T-shirts. To be fair,
yeah.
But we're not wearing them. But this wasn't planned. Can I just say this wasn't planned? It's, as Gio said, it's a bit embarrassing. So we're not trying to do anything, you know.
Yeah. So while there was a fashion mix-up on the stream, there was absolutely none of them on the football pitch because West Ham ran out 3-1 victors to get 3 points against Watford. Surely we're in the top half of the table now. Exciting times. And next up we're playing Norwich City preview, but next week before. But like I said before, join us tomorrow night for our Newport, because in my opinion and in Gonzo's opinion, that is our biggest game of the season so far. Catch you in a bit.